Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Always Moving Podcast, episode number 35. And before I introduce my guest, I just want to say it's 2 days from the 1 year anniversary of my show. So, Gabbi Howarth, welcome to the show. You're going to be my 1 year anniversary guest bonanza. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so glad I am the 100th. I'm just so excited. I'm just 1 year.
Yeah. I'm great. I'm doing well. So for the people listening, maybe give a little intro. Where are you from originally and where are you currently?
Okay, so I am from the UK originally in England. So I live in just a small place called the Wirral, really close to Liverpool. But I am currently living it up in Dubai.
Oh,
I know.
that's so cool. So then yeah, so I was going to get into Dubai later. I'm trying to see how I want to do this, but we originally met in Aarhus, Denmark, like many moons ago.
No, I was thinking about this the other day. You were actually like one of the first people and like one of my first friends in Denmark, which is so cute.
And look at us now. I remember when you first came because that was my second semester and you came early before everybody kind of all showed up and we were all watching in like the tea stew and stuff. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah.
Knock on the door and I was like, I don't even know anyone here yet, so who is possibly knocking on my door? And then it was you guys and I was like, hi. It was so nice.
Yeah. So before we dive into Dubai and all this stuff, talk some Denmark. What was it like how did you end up finding the academy, and then what was it like deciding to move? I'm like, hey, I'm just going to go to Denmark. What was that like for you?
Yeah, that was crazy. So I was only 18 when I actually moved to Denmark, and it was only because I was playing for England handball at the time, and they just said, we have good connections with this school in Aarhus. Do you want to go? And I was just a little bit of a risk taker. So I thought, yeah, why not? Never been. I'll go and live there instead. Yeah. And then, yeah, the rest is history. Just went to play handball and obviously met you guys and had an absolute ball for 2 years.
Yeah. I remember when it came up to go, I'm like, shit, this is huge. I'm like, I can't let this pass. Like, I gotta go.
100%. Like, it's one of those things you just can't turn down. Like, just going to a different country and playing sport every day. Yeah. You've got to be quick to say no.
Eating like what's the fish for lunch? What was it? The pickled fish, whatever that you put on the rye bread. I don't know, but yeah, DK was amazing. I loved, like, it was something, because I think England's probably similar to Canada. No one gave a shit about handball.
Yeah, no one knows what it is. Like, I've even had like people that I live with now who say like, what's your sport? I say handball, and they look at me like, what on earth is that? I've never even heard of the sport. And I'm like, just Google it, doesn't matter.
I could try to explain it, you're not going to picture it, and then
yeah, I was like, if you've never seen it, I can't explain it, it's too complicated, just Google.
Yeah. And then actually, that's what I tell people when I coach in like Canada. I coach teams from my old high school. I just said, just go YouTube it. You'll learn more from them than you'll learn from me.
Like, videos just like paint like the whole picture, don't they? So better than what I would explain it like.
Yeah. So for me, it was crazy going to Denmark and then like seeing how just presence it is in the culture, how Mikkel Hansen's on Head and Shoulders, how, and then like it's legit. They go, we practice 4 times a week. You go to your club. It was crazy seeing, like, getting fully immersed just out of nowhere. So
I feel like we were in our own little bubble, weren't we? So at the time, like, it was just sport, just school, all your friends around you, and nothing else mattered. And it was honestly like the best time ever.
I didn't have to worry about anything.
No, there was no worries. Like, you didn't even have to, like, there was no care in the world. You were just having fun, and that was it.
And then, so then you went back. So you were there for 4 semesters?
Yeah, I was only supposed to be there for the 2 semesters, so just the 1 year.
Yeah.
And then over the summer, I was kind of just like, I don't think I'm finished.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not go back and just carry on? And then I actually think those 2 semesters honestly changed me. I was a completely different person than I was the first 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So what do you think changed as you went? That was one of my next questions on the notes.
Ah.
You're a pro at this.
So yeah, obviously when I was 18, like that's when I went, and I think just being away from home and like getting a bit more independent being away, I kind of grew up a little bit. So
Yeah.
by the next year, I was like, I know what to expect. This isn't new anymore. And I kind of needed to set myself up ready to move back home and go to university and do everything that I needed to do. So I think I really started to grow up in there. I mean, not fully grow up, I still had a bit of fun, but you know,
As much as we could.
much as we could. Yeah.
No, that's good, because that was the same kind of thing like I experienced through the school, and I know like Daryl as well. You kind of grow up, you get to the point and you're like, okay, I did what I had to do here, and now it's like I see, maybe you don't know what you want to do, but you know where you want to kind of get to or something like that. So
100%, like that was like me. I knew that it's what I wanted at the time, but it's not always going to be there. So I needed to know what was to expect after I left and how I wanted to be when I left.
yeah, because I remember visiting again, and it was like I don't know any of these students, and it was like our time frame was done, and it's like, okay, cherish what we did, and then just and maybe forget some of what we did, and then we just go forward.
Oh, yeah.
And then no, but I think you did it. You did it wonderfully. You went to school. You did your stuff. I had dreams of being a pro star for some reason. I wasn't that good, and then yeah, so I kept moving around, and it's led me where I am today. So I'm pretty happy. But
Yeah, but you've traveled, you've had a good time while you've traveled. So you would never have had that if you just stayed put where you were and you didn't step out your comfort zone. So
yeah.
good on you.
So let's go to a little bit the handball life then. So when was the last time you played? That's a good question, right? Because like
Question. Um, wow. So it was literally just before like COVID, you know, when COVID first hit, it was then, like that was probably the last time in the February. So is that like 2020?
yeah.
So February 2020 was like probably the last game I ever played. I trained like once or twice, just like at the beginning of the summer, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just with my club team, and you know, I knew that I was moving to Dubai and that I was not going to be playing anymore. So I kind of, it's a bit bittersweet, but yeah. So it's been a long time since I've properly played and trained handball.
Yeah, same. I mean, because when I was back in Canada, I was practicing with the Alberta team and stuff and playing around, but I didn't see where it was going to go and stuff like that. And like, I wasn't part of the main team. So when they came to tournament time, I ended up stopping. And then it's like, I played some beach handball, but it was like now, I mean, I haven't done it in so long because COVID kind of forced us to stop, but it's such a huge chapter of my life where it just kind of abruptly ends.
I know I didn't expect it to end when it did, so I still thought I would have like from 2020 to carry on playing and then still play for the national team and have a great time. But because we had so many trips planned before COVID, and then it hit, and now I've moved, so I have not really I don't feel like I finished it where I wanted to finish it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Away, and that's it. Like that's the end now.
Yeah, because like my last game with the national team was in 2018.
Whoa.
And yeah, because then we had a coaching change, we had like a election for president, and then boom, COVID happened, all this shit, and it just stopped, and like we couldn't travel because Canada was really strict on movement, and then we couldn't really, even like between the provinces, we couldn't all get together because they had different regulations, and then and like, yeah, my last game was not good. Like we blew our qualification, and like that's really how I'm gonna end this career, is like this. It's like
it's nuts, isn't it? Like just how it ends, and you can't do anything about it. Like it's no one's fault, but it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, I think I feel it now. I felt like training all the time and playing. Maybe it was able to keep away from the issues I was having with my body, but now that I've stopped, I could feel like, oh shit, time. I played a lot of games.
No, I was the same. Like every time I go to the gym now, I'm like, oh, like that didn't hurt before. Like, why is it hurting now? And it's probably from all the handball. But...
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like when I usually wake up before my girlfriend, so when I leave the room, I try to be quiet or whatever, but my knees just crack the whole way. It's like, oh my God, shut up. Like I can't get out of the room.
Oh,
Yeah, but
no.
then yeah, I I played a pickup game of basketball with some people that live kind of near me the other day. It was awesome. It was fun to get out playing. But then when I was walking home, I'm like, I used to play like 3 tournaments, like bang, bang, bang. And now it's like, fuck, I play one game of basketball. I'm like icing and like stretching. Like, I can't do it.
No, I'm not even joking. I'm the same. I went in the gym because I was dragged there the other day by two of my friends because it's like just in the floor above. And I'm not even joking. I could not walk. I was like struggling. I get in the elevator, so it's not even like I have to walk, but I was still in so much pain. I was like, wow, I've been one time since I've lived here, and it's actually embarrassing, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah, life, So let's get into it. Dubai.
I know. Wow. Like, I said before about Denmark, like, yeah, I'd never been before and then moved there. Same comes with Dubai. Never even been here. Thought I'd just move here anyway. Like,
So how did this all come about? Like the process, like why Dubai? Like what all happened?
it was so sudden. So I was doing my teaching degree and I was working in in an amazing school, like just by my parents' house. And I absolutely loved it. Loved like teaching there, loved who I worked with. But then I felt like I was really settling and that I was like literally 5 minutes away from my parents' house and it was where I'd always lived and that's not me. Like, you know me, like I'm always somewhere and I love to travel. So I just thought, I'm going to branch out a little bit and just see where I can apply for
A
teaching
little bit,
jobs.
and you end up across the globe.
What do you mean? So I just thought I'll apply for it and didn't really think anything of it. And then a guy that I'd been in contact with, he was like, there's a job going in my school. Do you want to apply? And I was like, oh yeah, why not? Like, it's just a risk and I
Yeah.
might not even, so there's no point in me just, panicking. Next thing you know, I'm like 3 interviews down the line and I've got a job in Dubai. I was like, what? And then I just like, when I told my mom, like, I was like, I actually got the job, and she was like, I was like, no, I actually do have the job. And she was like, what? I've never planned on going to Dubai before. I was like, neither had I, but look where we are. So yeah, so now I'm a sports teacher. I'm a physical education teacher in Dubai.
That's amazing. I'm jealous. I won't lie. I'm jealous of that.
I mean, feel free to come whenever you want.
Yeah, maybe Florida doesn't care. They'll just send me out. So what was kind of, because I've experienced it kind of with visas all around the world. What was it like getting like a work permit or visa and stuff for Dubai? Is that a complicated process?
Well, my school have been so good about it. So they've like sorted out a lot of the paperwork for me. I just had to send the documents. So all like my degree certificates, I had to send down to London to be checked by like solicitors, and then the UAE embassy that gets stamped and sent back to me. You need all these documents to prove that you are who you are.
Yeah.
And I had to sign a lot of documents and send them back. But my school was so good, they just, because they were the ones that could speak Arabic and they could do this for me. And then when I got here, they were like, yeah, you just need to go for like a medical, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, nobody mentioned a medical to me. So I just like got taken to this place and had a blood test and like an x-ray and
Yeah. Do you have to do like the biometrics, like the fingerprints and all that? Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with some woman who just refused to speak to me. She was like grabbing my finger and like dragging it around to be able to do all these fingerprints. And I was actually scared because I was like, I didn't even know what this is for. Like, I was just so oblivious because I didn't even know. I just got taken to this place in the middle of the desert. I was like,
where am I?
no, like, because we started driving and then we started driving out of town and then we were in the middle of a desert and I was like, where are we? What's going on?
What's going through your head at this point? Like,
it was because like I'm just oblivious to this whole thing because they said they'd sort it for me. So I was like, yeah, no problem. You just take me where I need to go and I'll do whatever. So there's me sitting there having bloods taken on one arm, biometrics on the other. And I didn't even know what. But yeah, it turns out if the blood tests don't come back great, I'm getting deported. You just get
Oh yeah.
deported straight. It's just crazy. But yeah, I'm just in the middle of waiting for like my ID to come through now, and then that's when I can like officially have residency. And they say like you can open bank accounts, you can have all contracts and whatever. So
Yeah.
that's the process right now, but it's taken a little bit of time.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, France was
Yeah.
terrible for the visa because it's like if you misspell one thing and then you have to book your rendezvous for like 3 weeks in advance. And if it's like, oh, you didn't fill this out, one line, like, well, I could do that now. Like, no, you got to do another one. You gotta,
Oh,
like, dude, come on. Like, I'm missing class. I'm missing practice. Then,
yeah, like it's insane. It's so like rigorous, and they are very, very on it. And I was literally being like flown around these rooms, being asked random questions and X-rays and bloods. And then I was out there within 10 minutes. I was like, what has just happened?
yeah.
But yeah,
'Cause I'm currently doing visa stuff with the US, and the US is real strict and they're very complicated and they're very slow. I can tell you that they are not quick.
how long's it taking you to do it? Or
So I just went for current visa I'm going for is just the extension of my tourist visa. So I get a 6 month with Canada. I'm applying for a 6 month extension, and then from there we figure out whatever it is. Like if we apply for work or spousal or whatever, we find out. But I applied June 7th and I've yet to receive. But you don't have to leave if it's in processing. So by the
that's
time I get this extension for 6 more months, I'm gonna have like a week. It's like, but at the same time, I can't leave. So
same.
yeah, like if they leave, they're like, oh, they're no longer interested. See ya.
Like I don't have hold of my passport or anything right now.
Really?
I literally have nothing because they need to stamp the visa in it, so I don't have it, which is panicking me a little bit, but I therefore can't leave the country until it's done.
I at least have my passport with me. That's a little more comforting.
I may as well be on the streets. Like I've got,
They've got your blood. They've got your passport.
they can just clone me if they want. They may as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't mind.
So besides this whirlwind of a process, what's Dubai like?
So I've never been outside of Europe. So obviously I lived in England, lived in Denmark. They're very like similar in the ways they're quite relaxed and everything's kind of the same. Here, wow, like I don't even know what I signed myself up for at one point. The buildings are massive. Like everyone's living in skyscrapers. It's based on like, they wanted it to look like America kind of. So everything is just huge and it's all man-made. So like I live, like I can see a marina from like my bedroom, but like that's just been put there. And I just think it's crazy. Like it was a sand pit at one point. It was just one massive sand pit. And now it's just buildings and made beaches and there's no grass. That is what I miss the most.
Yeah.
It's grass. But other than that, it's insane.
I remember watching a documentary about how they built Dubai, and it's just like digging down so far with these pillars to make these buildings. And it's like, wow.
Crazy. You look out the window and there are cranes on every single building because everything is just always being worked on. And there's a helipad on every single building. Like what? Who's planning on flying here?
Yeah. So, and then what's that? I forget the name, the super tall, the tallest building in the world. Have you been there? Pardon? What is it?
Burj Khalifa.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've not been up it yet, but I've stood outside it. And you actually have to crane your neck to see it. Like you have to be like this, looking up to see it. But it's massive and it just gets like smaller and smaller as it goes up. So it's like this and then goes.
Yeah.
It's mad. But it's so pretty though, because when you go to see it, when you go to the waterfront, they have like a water show and there's music, and then the Burj Khalifa lights up and they've all got like music and lighting, and it shows a story on the Burj Khalifa. It's just amazing to watch because I've never seen anything like this before. I've never been anywhere that shows these kind of things.
Yeah.
But if like a record to come, you definitely got to go because it's just, I can't even explain
Yeah,
it.
it seems like a place like, wow.
It's not real.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, so besides the giant buildings and all that, what's kind of like the culture, the feel in the city? Does it feel artificial? Does it feel homely? Is it a lot of tourists? Because like what's going
So
on?
yeah, so like I just live like on the outskirts of Dubai. So um, Dubai, I feel like anything pretty much goes. Like they can wear what they like, and you don't really like. No one turns their head too much. But just where I live is pretty reserved, so I can't show my shoulders or knees when I'm in public. So I have to be covered because obviously of the Muslim culture, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
So obviously I respect that, and I don't want to get in trouble either.
Not when you
Also,
don't have your passport. Yeah.
I know, not when they've got my passport and I don't have a visa.
Yeah.
And yet, there's also where I live, there's no alcohol allowed. So they can only sell alcohol in licensed places over here. So maybe a bar or I don't know, a club, like a beach club or something like that. But where I live, I cannot have alcohol here. If I get stopped by the police, I'm done for.
Yeah.
So it's things like this, like I'm just not really used to. It's a bit crazy, but you know, you just have to respect it. And because obviously I moved here, it's their religion, it's like their
Yeah.
rules. So, you know, yeah, but it's easy to get used to, but it's just a shock at first.
Yeah. So do you get like when you arrive or before you left, is it like, hey, you can't expose your shoulders or something? Like just someone kind of give you a unofficial rule book, or do you have to kind of learn this from somebody
Yeah.
there? Or
So it's kind of like you just get told by other people. So before I said like told anyone, I was like, oh, I'm moving to Dubai. They were like, oh, you can't do anything there. I was like, what do you mean? And then they started saying you have to be quite covered up and whatever. So I came thinking I'd literally have to be head to toe covered, thinking I don't want to disrespect anyone.
Yeah.
But then when you gauge it yourself, I think you have to sit here yourself and think, right, I'm not going to go out in the smallest top and the smallest shorts. Like you won't last a minute outside. But if you go into Dubai, you can wear kind of what you want because it's a lot more there. There's a lot more tourists and expats, and it's kind of like they rule that part, whereas I live where a lot of the locals live. And
yeah,
I don't mind that though. Like I don't mind living just outside of the city. I still want that nice balance.
better.
Yeah, for the culture side, yeah, it's 100% like I enjoy just going out because I live like there's a canal by my apartment and there's a huge mosque and it is beautiful, like the lights and just the location of it. It's so pretty. Even though I can hear prayers like 5 times a day, that's like projected across the city. It's still nice though. I'm starting to get used to it, but it still shocks me sometimes.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, because like I'm in Florida now, and literally anything goes all day long. People are insane here.
Are they?
Yeah, it's like when COVID happened, half the people are just upset about every little thing, and then they're like, yeah, just have giant parties or go to the beach. It's just
no way. We still have to wear masks indoors and outdoors.
yeah, no.
Crazy.
They just have signs that say it's recommended, but nobody wears them. And
that was what it's like in the UK. Like I'd stopped wearing a mask and you didn't have to wear a mask anymore and you didn't have to isolate and whatever. And then now I've come here, you have to isolate, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like you have to get PCR tests and I'm double jabbed, but it doesn't mean anything yet.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. We're in such different places right now. And we used to live a couple rooms apart.
Oh, no, I miss those days. I miss the grass, I miss the weather, and I miss you.
Thank you. I miss you too. I was pumped that I'm like, oh shit, Gabbi would be a great guest because I'm super curious and this would be a great show. So I'm enjoying it.
Oh, me too. It's like nice to have someone that hasn't like I've not already spoken to about it because some of my friends like, oh, you've told me about morning prayer about 5 times now, but I've not told you about it yet, so I'm going to tell you.
I'm thrilled. I'm pumped to hear about it. So do they have like can you get your fix of grass somewhere? Do they have like a giant botanical garden or some indoor place where nature exists?
Yeah, so Dubai has everything you could ever imagine. They have it. So like if you wanted to go to a zoo or an aquarium, or they have an indoor ski slope, they have skydive, they have everything you could ever wish for. So I think there is some like there's like patches of grass, but it's so fake and it's so dry because it's like 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Yeah.
But if I did want to go to like a grassy place for a few gardens, but it's a
I
bit
get
too
it.
hot.
Yeah. I look right there. There's a tree and a lake, some ducks there.
I'm actually so jealous. Mine's just like a little marina with some dead jellyfish. Like it's not the same.
So sad.
Very sad. I went for a walk and I was like, the water's not even blue and the sun's just so hot.
So before we move on, have you seen any like wildlife or what? Is there anything that lives in Dubai? Have you seen anything?
No, so I didn't, before go to another country, you think, I wonder what animals they have there, like, deadly animals or just animals that you don't usually see in your home country. Didn't even check it out. I don't even know. So a spider could be crawling across this floor coming to get me, and I wouldn't even flinch because I don't know if they're dangerous or not. Like I've not seen anything. They have I've only seen birds and cats. I don't even know if they have anything else. It's so strange.
It doesn't sound like you looked up Dubai much before you moved.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't.
Hey, that's half the fun is just showing up.
Well, true. I had a lot of people telling me about it. They were like, "Oh, have you seen this? This looks amazing to go to. Do this, do this, do this." And I was like,
Yeah.
like I'm here for at least 2 years, so
Yeah. There's time. There's always time. And you
it's
won't
time.
do it until the last month, and then like, oh shit.
100%. All my wages going to get blown in the last month, and that'll be it. I'll have to go home.
Yeah. So what's kind of the plan? You want to stay there for the 2 year? Is it a contract for 2 year?
Yeah, so I've signed a 2 year contract. However, that can be extended for an extra year, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like I'm quite easygoing. Like I'll just go with the flow if it works at this school. I really like it at the minute. Like it's a bit crazy, but I absolutely love it. And the staff are amazing as well. So it really helps that I've got like a good base around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2, 3 years at least. I can't see myself leaving anytime soon.
Nice. Well, I'm happy for you. So you have like a translator, or do you speak any Arabic now, or you
I
could
couldn't
do it.
even tell you what hello was. But no, because I work in a British school.
Okay.
So majority of the staff are from the UK or Ireland. And then only like the Arabic teachers that teach those Arabic children. Yeah, but they all speak English so well because the country is just full of people who've just come from different countries to here. So everyone speaks English, and that's really it's a bit shallow of me to say like everyone speaks English. I don't need to learn another language, but they do all speak English, and they've got people from Pakistan, India,
Yeah.
literally everywhere. So I wouldn't even know which language to start with.
Well, I'm down. I'm fascinated by your new adventure. I think it's amazing. I'd love to
Thanks.
do something like that. I mean, I just showed up in Florida. It's pretty great. I mean, my girlfriend's here, but I mean, I don't know anybody else here.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, how are you going out to meet people? Like, how are you doing that?
It just happens organically, or it's kind of hard the older we get to meet people, especially like for me, everywhere I'd move, I met them through handball. So if they were part of my team or they saw me play or whatever. So like here the other day when I played basketball, they were playing. I'm just like, guys need a sub. I'm your guy. And there's always this group that plays here. And it was like right when I'm finishing playing by myself, they show up. Or right when I'm like just about to leave or whatever, or I'm showing up, they're leaving. So it was like finally this day happened, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna go play. So then you just kind of meet them, and then you just kind of do it like that and hope it works out. You go to events and be like, oh, this is cool or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, I always think it's hard to when I first got here, I didn't know a single person. I didn't know where to go or what to do. until like someone just knocked on my door and said hello, and I was like, oh, that's what I needed. Like I wouldn't have.
It's a big hug.
Come here.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna be following your stories. So you gotta keep it updated.
Well, I'll try my best.
Yeah.
I need to go exploring.
Yeah, you do apparently. That's what it sounds like.
I don't know anything, so I'll go exploring.
So we're gonna end this with a rapid fire. This is how I always end it with my guests. I tend to not tell them there's a rapid fire before the show starts. So that really gets them. So I got 7 questions. First thing that comes to your head. And we're just gonna go from there. And since you're from England and we're having a laugh, I am chuffed to say some of these questions are British.
I can't wait. I have no idea what you're going to say right now.
Question number 1. Remember, as fast as you can.
Okay.
Your favorite Harry Potter character?
Ron.
Nice. What's the best meal you prepare?
Stir fry.
Ooh.
Oh, random.
Is England ever going to win a football trophy?
Oh, probably not. Give up the hope.
Most overrated British food?
Pie. Oh.
Oh.
I was shocked then. I was really shocked.
Wow, you didn't know you didn't like pie that much.
Probably not.
William or Harry?
Will. No, Harry.
Oh, you just revealed it. Team Will.
That was really strange because I actually really fancy Harry.
Mountain or beach vacation?
Beach.
And your last one, a little more serious here. Who's your personal hero or someone you consider a hero?
This is going to sound really lame, but my mom. I miss my mom, and she is like pushed me to where I am. So she's my little hero.
That's sweet. That's normally the answer people kind of give, a parent or a grandparent. So, that
was cute then.
Well, Gabbi, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thanks so much for asking me to be on. I've missed you so much, and it's been so much fun.
It's been a pleasure. I'm glad to actually talk to you and not just send messages.
I know, it's so nice to hear your voice as well. A different accent amongst all these accents. It's lovely.
There we go. And so for everyone listening, Gabbi, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
And this has been episode 35 of the Always Moving podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Lyndon Suvanto. And as we say around here, let's keep this thing moving.